so many teachers come tonight. Very quickly, we've got Kel Ward, Julie Ward, John Fenson, Greg Bell, Bruce Boland, Ian Cochran, Doug Ferguson, Colin Freestone, Terry Glebe, Ross Langford-Brown, Nan Mainfield was coming, but she got sick, Bernie Newsom, Jeff Ostling and Alan White. It's rather incredible to think that all of these people 40 years later are still interested in us and a testament to the education that we got. There were a whole lot of other teachers that wanted to come that couldn't, and that was Bran Vince, Steve Satchell, Paul Snitch, Jack McMahon, Cole Harris, Don Northey and John Skull Jackson. So I think a big thank you to all the teachers. I'm going to ask Keith just to say a few words about the Facebook. Before I do, I just want to thank the other people that have been helped to get this together. I actually haven't done a great deal, even though it sort of appeared that I did. There's been a small group that have met a couple of times with James Daniel, Morton Storica, Peter Sheldon, Keith and myself. Everyone's done a fantastic job, but I have to say Peter Sheldon deserves a medal for being able to track down things, track down people, and he has found people all around the world. There he is. And he has missed his location as a public defender. Even to Stephen Garlick, who is floating around the Mediterranean on a boat, Peter was still able to track him down. And I also want to acknowledge Keith, who has done really the bulk of the work in organising this and put together that fantastic website and Facebook page. And he's got a couple of things to ask you about what we want to do with that. So Keith?
Everybody. First, I'd like to thank everyone who made the website interesting. I think I only had to put the scaffolding up, and to you guys now with the stories that really made it interesting. And I'm going to feel a little bit of a loss what to do tomorrow because I won't have any new stories coming up. So if any of you guys haven't put anything on there, put something up next week so I can have something to do. So, but thank you very much, because I think it's been interesting because of just the huge variety of all our careers and paths we've gone down. You know, we've had lots of people of success and in between and dramas, and I think it's been just that fabric of life that's made it so interesting. And so thank you very much, all of you. A couple of things we are going to do. We are going to have a Facebook for those who have children. They will teach you how to use Facebook. There are a few exceptions here. Neil Rickard knows. Neil Rickard, by the way, has 2,500 friends. He can teach us all without that.
It's gone viral.
He has gone viral. So I think going down the track, if you haven't logged on or registered, what we would like you to do before you go out today, can you just note down whether you've got a Facebook account or not? And if you haven't, I thoroughly recommend that you get one, because it's just a nice way of us keeping in contact over the next few years. The other one there is we have to make a decision about the website as to what we want to do. So we've got lots of stories, so we've got really two options. We can close it down, keep the things, the stories, and we'll resurrect it in 10 years' time. Or we can decide to keep it going, and if you guys want to sort of keep updating what's happening in your life, it'll cost us the grand sum of $20 each for 10 years, $2 a year. So I'm going to get some, so those who'd like to keep the website going over the next 10 years, hands? I think the hands have it. We're going to keep it. So thank you for that. So that's all I had to say. It's been my absolute pleasure doing the website. Sometimes you do things and you get back so much more than what you put in, and it's been fantastic reading all your stories, and it's been great. So we'll keep it going, and you guys keep updated. Thank you. great pleasure to introduce Bill McCallum here. Bill, as you'll notice from the photos, probably in the school's changed a little bit. You know, the hair's a little bit shorter than it used to be in the front page, and we'll excuse him for that. A couple of wrinkles. Again, what probably you might notice is that Bill actually has an American accent. But we have done a DNA test, and it is our Bill. So Bill is the distinguished mathematics professor at Arizona University. He's been there for 35 years. And we were looking for someone to just say, what does it mean to people to come here on these nights? You know, what is the memory? So I'm going to hand over to Bill, and I'm going to listen with great expectation of his talk. So thank you very much.
So no pressure. Actually, when Keith asked me to do this, give a few words tonight, I elected the opportunity because I thought, finally, this is my chance to gain the recognition that I should have had 40 years ago. When Jeff Baxter became head prefect or school captain or whatever it was, not that I'm different, it's 40 years ago. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. The only year I might have had a chance to have my name in gold up on that board, 4th year or 5th year or 6th year, whatever it was, that's okay, I'm fine. Actually, speaking of prefects, do you all remember that there were like 2 types of prefects? There were the good prefects.
Thank you.
Yeah.
9 for mention.
Blue, we had those blue ties. Tied perfectly up top button done up, dispensing wisdom and justice around the school, You there, first year, may I help you tie that shoelace? And then there were the bad prefects, who really had been chosen by the school to be prefects because the school thought they could transform them from the layabouts they were into responsible citizens. They were always like, oh yeah, they wanted me to be a prefect. I'm not really into it that much, You there, get back to your classroom, it's like. But then also they had their ties like pulled way down.
Oh, it's Bill Lyons here.
Shirt unbuttoned, They took their ties off when they went over to the park to smoke dope. Actually, if they were really bad prefects, they left their ties on when they went over to the park to smoke dope. Anyway, that's not what I was here to talk about. The question that Keith wanted me to answer was a question that's really on all of our minds. Why the hell are we here? What were we thinking? And I know for some of you who live in Sydney or who live in Australia, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't have anything else to do on a Saturday night, why not? But there are some of us who've traveled around the world to come here. Myself, Jeff Saunders, Adam Shapiro, John Casey. So what were we thinking? And I've been thinking about that a little bit. And I think for me it's all about memory. 40 years is a long time. And if you've been away, you've been layering over those memories. I've gone to another country, gotten married, gotten a job, had children. Oh, there'll be a slideshow of the children. Just a couple of hours. The end of I don't even speak the language anymore. So why do we do this? And over the last few weeks, it's really been amazing to sort of excavate those memories. You see faces, you begin to vaguely remember who people are. Keith told me a story that I had completely forgotten. Apparently in 2nd grade, I gave a speech in class about a universe inside a ping pong ball that disappeared when you opened the ping pong ball. I had no memory of that whatsoever. And then slowly, when he said that, I said, oh yeah, I vaguely remember that. And I started excavating around the edges of the memory, scraping away the dust. And eventually, I sort of recovered that memory, and I'm like holding this memory in front of me. And I'm thinking, Jesus, I was an irritating smart ass. But so it's a lot of fun. Anyway, the other thing is what Neil Morrison called the other day the shifting faces. Have you experienced that tonight? You go up to someone and you have no idea that really is the same person. And then suddenly it will be a gesture or a tick or a strange way of looking, and it'll just transport you back 4 years. Suddenly the face is there. Then it's gone again. Really, really a lot of fun. So I guess that's why we're here. I'm not going to bore you with any more memories. I did have lunch with Jason Johnston yesterday. He couldn't be, or should I say didn't want to be here tonight, but he did send a message to you all. The school motto. No, it was nicer than that. No, yeah, he said, drink it, he say wink it. Anyway, you've all seen you've all seen the website, you've read the stories. It's a lot of fun to do that. So I'm not gonna go on much longer, but I do want to say something about the teachers. It's really been wonderful to see them here. As an academic myself, I know that students don't often come back and tell you what a wonderful teacher you were, or tell you the moments that they learned something from you. And I've had a great time meeting some of the old teachers. I remember Bernie Newsom, the end of first year, came into our, it was when the teachers came in and told you about all the electives. He came in and delivered such a passionate speech in favor of the classics. I think he had just come out of a staff meeting where some teacher had told him that the classics were useless or something. He was really pissed off. And he was such a rousing speech that I studied Greek with him for the next 5 years. And I also remember Greg Bell. Greg, I don't know how he achieved this. He used to persuade people to come to lunchtime classes to read poetry. And he really inspired me to learn poetry, and now my daughter has carried on that tradition. Jeff Osling, Jeff, captain of the coach of the debate team, that the photograph which we just reenacted. Mr. Ward, who took us around Central Australia. Great trip. Bob Makinson was on that trip. Colin Fletcher was on that trip. If anybody has photographs of that trip, I'd like them, because my camera didn't work for the whole time. So that was a really wonderful trip. And by the way, Mr. Ward, I really do not know who it was who pulled down your tent that last night. So anyway, if as you're sort of developing old friendships, reviving old rivalries tonight, if you could also take a little bit of time to think of some experience you had with a teacher, and if you haven't already done so, tell them what a great job they did for you. So, thanks everybody, and let's get back to Greek.
I'm going to make a long speech tonight. There's been enough speeches, but great to see you all here. Fantastic. Tonight is about memories. It's about renewed friendships. It's about talking lots of good stories, whether they're real or not. They just get better as the years go on. And but I can certainly, Steve Yellett clearly remembers being a pub prefect down at the Sandwich well. Just to make sure that the younger age drinkers didn't go in. So all good stories. And Steve's actually carried on that business for the rest of his life. So well done, Steve. Look, thank you very much for to everyone that's organised tonight. Great effort. This is the fourth of these sorts of nights, the 10-year, the 20-year, the 30-year, and we certainly look forward to the 50-year. Hopefully we're all here, and part of the saddest part of tonight is those people that unfortunately can't be here. I'm not going to dwell on that because that's just part of the stories that go on. But I would just like to mention Jeff Stott, who is a very great friend of mine, both at school and through life. So for me, he's the one guy that I can miss here. I'm sure that everyone has those sorts of people, so bear a thought for them as well. So look, enjoy the rest of the night. I think it's great that we will carry on and contribute to the Facebook and the website. Don't know how to do Facebook, but someone will give me and definitely look forward to seeing us all again here in 10 years' time. So great. Well done, the organisers and everyone that's made a big effort to be here tonight. Teachers and all the kids. Thank you.